There was like a lot of grossness in the world, but I guess I just didn't realize how gross, and how many of you there really are.
I think you meant to say how many of us there really are, Cap. Clearly, self-awareness and introspection are not your strong suit. But if you want to see one of the most predatory bullies on the app, just look in the mirror. Like, hey, do you remember when you tried to get a guy's dog taken away by calling his apartment complex because you just didn't like him?
Heard there's a certain creator on this app that's been complaining that they may be losing their dog. Now, gee, I wonder why that would.
Oh, it gets worse. Like when you waged a smear campaign against a man who was falsely accused on this app because you could care less about whether it's true or not. It's about what you can use to fit what you've already decided to be true.
I'm gonna say that my problem, who I think is a predator that needs to be off the app, is Officer fucking Kingery. You're garbage and you're a predator.
You spent months and months engaging in a smear campaign against a man and causing him to lose his job, not caring in the slightest to look into the facts of the story, for only it to come out later that the woman was lying.
What I did when it came to Kingery was all first-hand people telling me their stories. The lie is on them, but where I don't mind holding myself accountable is admitting that I was lied to, and I ran with the lie. And for that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I trusted people. And going forward, there will be zero SA or DV discussed on any of my platforms. I just simply can't trust it anymore.
One of the stories that was put out there was not true. I had found out about that a couple of weeks before Kingery came back to the app. I felt horrible. So I went back and I made sure that I undid that particular girl's story. Now, during all of this, I felt like I was being handled.
I find it hilarious that your inability to think critically or objectively and actually know what it takes to find out if something is true, you guys turned yourselves into the victims of the story. Oh, we were lied to. Oh, we got it wrong. Oh, I felt handled. But we're not even done yet. Now here's the time that you tried to destroy a doctor's medical career because you heard something, could care less to verify whether or not it was true, because let's be honest, you didn't really care if it was true or not. You just wanted to hurt this woman. So you decided to dox his full name, his medical license, and encourage people to write to try and get his medical license taken away. A doctor. All because you didn't like his daughter.
Jess just admitted that he diagnosed her with lupus to get a medication that she wanted for COVID-19. Charlie 5, remember when you said that I ran around talking about how your father should lose his medical license? I never said that, but I am saying it today.
Well, it turns out that's actually not what happened, was it, Cap? Now, about a year later, when you found out the full story, you later apologized and whatever, yada, yada. But can you imagine, what if you were actually effective and you destroyed this man's career, which you were trying to do, and you just think it's okay? This kind of behavior's okay because, once again, you don't fucking care about the truth of anything. The only thing you care about is what you can use to attack someone that you don't like. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. What's funny is I have never seen anyone in my personal life or on TikTok ever get it so consistently wrong. And never once have you thought to yourself that, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do these kinds of things. Here's another example.
I like how you just point out my spelling error, but you don't show how you were actually a coroner, because you're not. You were never a coroner. You took a couple classes that were open to the public. Yeah, we read a bunch of newspaper articles about you. We already dealt with you. We already did this. You were never a coroner. You lie about literally everything. This will also be my last engagement with you.
Well, guess what? It turns out she is a coroner. You just once again showed that your ability or desire to be truthful is non-existent. By the way, why were you so pissed off?
And then in comes you. Oh, don't worry, Kat, my dad's a doctor. This is what he thinks that you should do. You need this test, and you need this test, and he's open to talking to you. Charlie, you can get all the way fucked. I'm already upset about quite a few things that are going on right now, especially when it comes to my condition, especially when it comes to my health. You capitalized off of that because you wanted to feel important when you didn't know shit about shit, people like you. It's people like your little fucking friend telling people to take all this medication that they're not fucking prescribed. You're dangerous.
Sounds like she was just trying to be helpful. The truth of the matter is you just didn't like a couple of the people that she associated with, and so you attacked her. Tried to destroy her life and tried to take her father's medical practice away. And were wrong on all accounts. You later, a year or so, apologized. I mean, after a straight year of Charlie begging, pleading with you to please listen and hear her out so she can say what really happened and what was really actually being said in that live. But the fact of the matter is it's not your fucking job, Kat. That's what it is. And you had no intention of doing the right thing. But finally, probably one of the worst, most disgusting things I've ever seen on this app was when you thought it would be funny and a good old laugh to buy a book that was written by a woman who was gang SA'd horrifically when she was younger and documented her story and how she overcame it. You bought the book because you were having beef with that woman's son. And you bought it so you could laugh at it. And you bought it so you could affect him and hurt him by bringing up his mother's horrific essay. And this is how she responded.
Prison Cat, or Kit Kat, GWC Charlie, and conservative Texan and their followers who have jumped on the bandwagon to attack on their behalf. They all have a lot of screen names, to my understanding, so there are several ways you may know them. These creators and followers have not seen eye to eye with my son and have gone back and forth with one another regarding things they each have said or done. I have not been involved in any of their conflicts until now, but the three listed creators decided that their hate for my son had grown to the point that they needed to begin hurting our family, and specifically me, to cause further irreversible harm. I feel like I'm being raped all over again, and that was 50 years ago. Instead of being what I had hoped, my book has now been exploited and damaged by creators on TikTok. There are now people who might have benefited from that book who will never read it because of how it has benefited from the book, who will never read it because of how it...
You made countless videos using this woman's story, her pain, her suffering, her trauma, because you thought it would be funny. And you hated her son. You even auctioned it off at a charity where you guys would bid on it. And you know what your response was, Kat? When some people outside of your group said, "This is disgusting."
I bought a book. It triggered you. And the way that you chose to react was to go on the internet and share all of your gross family secrets.
This is just the tip of the iceberg with your behavior, Kat. If I was to show all of your malicious behavior on this app, it would be an 8-hour video. And then like clockwork, when someone reacts to your abusive, malicious bullying behavior, you make yourself into a victim. Now you're the victim. Then of course, what do all good bullies do when people start fighting back against them? They try to turn around and make it sound like they're the victim. They're being attacked. Now I haven't even touched on what I've had to deal with in the last 2 years involving you. But you have made over 120 videos just on me. You know how many videos I've done on you in response? Just guess. 17. But this is what it boils down to. I can't teach people to think critically. I can't teach you to care about the truth. And I most certainly cannot teach decency, of which you have none. So, Kat, let's just make one thing very, very fucking clear, okay? You are not a fucking victim. You are one of the worst predators and bullies on this app that I have seen. You don't seem to understand how important it is to get it right when you're calling someone a P3DO, an abuser, a schmecksh offender. And worst of all, as you don't understand how harmful it is to actual victims.